थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आपने दी हमारे डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी, उसके जितने इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं और उसके दो पब्लिक सेक्टर्स बायरैक और बिटकॉल वो क्या कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं फॉर मिटिगेशन ऑफ कोविड। सर ये आज आपके साथ वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस में आपकी गाइडेंस लेने के लिए और आपकी डायरेक्शंस लेने के लिए कि हम क्या करें। हमारा पूरा जितने भी 16 इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं और दोनों पब्लिक सेक्टर्स, उनके साइंटिस्ट एंड डायरेक्टर्स are all on the video conference with you here, sir. And we have put together a presentation. उस presentation में हम आपको एक brief देंगे जो main चीज़ें हमारी हो रही हैं, जो डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी रोल प्ले कर रहा है in the vaccines, therapeutics and diagnostic area. एंड ऑल्सो सर जो स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम को सपोर्ट किया है और प्लस जो हमने फैसिलिटेशन किया है इकोसिस्टम का, जिससे रिसर्च इकोसिस्टम बेटर हो। सर इसके साथ मैं पहले आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ अगर आप थोड़ा अपना डायरेक्शन दें सबको, और फिर हम प्रेजेंटेशन आधे घंटे का प्रेजेंटेशन सर इकट्ठा सारे इंस्टीट्यूट के कॉमन प्रेजेंटेशन है वो आपके सामने प्रेजेंट करेंगे।
डॉक्टर रेणु स्वरूप एंड ऑल अवर डियर डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द वेरियस biotechnology institutions in the country. First of all, let me thank you and congratulate you for the good work that you are trying to do to help the cause of finding out COVID-19 solutions. And I know that reasonably significant progress has been made in various fields, more particularly about development of indigenous antibody test kits and also indigenous RT-PCR kits. We have been doing an exemplary job. Our laboratories and scientists in ICMR, they have ramped up their testing capacity to huge numbers, and right now if we have an indigenous kit, whether it is an antibody test kit or an RT-PCR kit, it's going to deliver rich dividends to the cause of COVID mitigation. Simultaneously, I know that biotechnology is supporting a number of companies and is supporting research for vaccine development. We have come quite ahead in that direction also. You are also working on monoclonal antibodies, and also I know that some 1,000 genome sequencing activities on 1,000 viruses is also started in biotechnology, although similar activities are also happening in CSIR. So jointly all our scientists in the Science and Technology Ministry and in CSIR, biotechnology, DST, together they are going to contribute in a big way to help us and back the efforts of our doctors and our coronavirus working in the field to ensure that we can fight the battle against COVID successfully. Just to remind you that we have been amongst the first few countries who responded to the news of a new coronavirus in China on 7th of January. For almost 3.5 months we have been fighting this battle from the front with our Prime Minister blessing us and also monitoring activities on various fronts at I would say almost daily. And right now we are in a position where we have been able to very exactly pinpoint the places where we have the disease, and all our efforts are right now with different differential strategies for containment of the disease in those areas where we have the virus disturbing the people of India. As you all know, that steadily we are making significant progress, and when I talk to you today, 80 districts in India have not reported a fresh case since the last 7 days. 47 districts have not reported a case for the last 14 days. 39 districts have not reported a case for the last 21 days. And 17 districts have not reported a case for the last 28 days. Similarly, you know that when we assess the progress of the disease, how is it growing in the country, so there is a doubling rate, which is a very significant and powerful indicator of how the things are happening. So pre-lockdown, you know, our doubling rate of cases was around 3 days. But when I talk to you today, for the last 14 days, our doubling rate had been 8.7, and for the last 7 days it had been 10.2, and today for the last 3 days when we calculate, it is roughly 10.9. So I think that's a very, very significant progress. All over the country, we know that just over 300 districts are thoroughly unaffected by the disease. About 300 districts again are our non-hotspot districts, where we have just very few cases, and roughly 129 districts are the ones where we have significant number of cases, say more than 15 or maybe slightly less than 15, which we call as hotspots. And these are the places where we are focusing our approach on with cluster containment and disease outbreak containment strategies, where there is a house-to-house survey also within a perimeter of 5 kilometers. And right now, in the last 24 hours, there are 16 states which have not reported any case at all. We have made enough preparations for significant number of isolation beds and significant number of ICU beds, ventilators, adequate number of PPEs, N95 masks, necessary drugs, etc. The whole country is right now waiting very anxiously for the contribution of the scientists, and whether it is about discovery of a new drug, or whether it is about good successful results from the trials of the various drugs that are being used to handle COVID-19, whether it is for discovery of a new vaccine which is going to be a very potent answer to this new virus, or whether it is for development of the indigenous kits, whether for antibody testing or whether for RT-PCR testing to confirm the positive cases in the society. We know there is a lot of activity going on around the use of convalescent plasma, also its effectiveness, etc. So, and with other departments and the laboratories in CSIR and DST, we know that lot of things which will be helpful in hospitals, like hospital assistive devices, they are all being worked up. This whole pandemic has come as a blessing in disguise for India, because a lot of activities have now started in Make in India, also with the help of our technologists and scientists. And these Make in India activities have, you see, a great example of this is the PPEs. Earlier we were not manufacturing them in India. The cloth, etc., for that used to come from China. That all got disturbed, and this has come as a boon to us. We have now over 100 manufacturers in the country, which we have been able to handhold with the help of Ministry of Textiles, and it is something between 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh PPEs that we are making in the country every day. So that's about, and similarly we have over 10 manufacturers of N95 masks also, and ventilators also we have started producing in India, the state-of-the-art ventilators. So all this has come as a blessing in disguise for us. I am anxiously waiting to hear from you what you have been doing in the labs right now, and my only request is that whatever we do, we cannot afford to wait too long. We have to focus on the timeliness of the things that we are doing, because early solutions to the problems being posed by COVID-19 right now, that is the need of the hour. So whether it is for vaccine or for the indigenous kits or the monoclonal antibodies or the research related to plasma, etc., or the genetic sequencing, I think we all have to see that we deliver results which could be converted into useful, implementable solutions for the people of India. So with these few opening remarks, I would love to hear from all of you, and if there is any comment, I shall give it at the end of this deliberation. So I hand over to Dr. Renu Swarup right now, and we start hearing about the progress made at your end. Thank you.
Sir, we have a presentation which has been planned, and that is one presentation. As I had mentioned to you, the Department of Biotechnology, which, as you know, works with its 16 autonomous institutes. In addition, we have the public sector BIRAC, which is supporting startups and industry. We also support a lot of extramural research. So a lot of the research which is being done by our institutes is being done in collaboration with other scientists from IITs, ICERs, the ICMR labs, CSIR labs. What we will do is we've divided the presentation into two parts, sir. We will give you first what the autonomous institutes are doing, and they will highlight what they are doing in collaboration with each other. And sir, you will recall that our institutes are basically working again in clusters, in which they are trying to bring work together, and you will see the synergy which you have always been suggesting to them. You will actually see that synergy coming out in these presentations, where so each thematic area of vaccines, diagnostics and therapeutics, we will get one of the directors to make the lead presentation, and then other directors will just intervene with any points that have to be done. Sir, the first one or two slides I have just positioned to show you that in addition to the research that we are doing and supporting, there is also a very big facilitation role, and as I said, the department has put together this major consortium. Next. Sir, we are playing a very major role for the facilitating the ecosystem. As you know, sir, under the Environmental Protection Act, the EPA Act, which is administered by the Ministry of Environment, the complete research biosafety responsibility lies with DVT. Now, COVID-19, sir, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is a risk 3, or in fact, WHO is still categorizing it as risk 3 or 4. So it makes it all the more important for us to have very clear guidelines as to how the research is done. So we had immediately put out the regulatory interim guideline note so that we can facilitate any laboratory in the country, whether public or private, to do that. Sir, we have also made a fast-track empowered committee under the co-chairmanship of Chairman RCGM and the DCGI. so that anything that is to move from RCGM to DCGI, there is a common group which takes a decision. And I'm pleased to inform you, sir, that this is now meeting literally on a daily basis, and mostly all the applications are being turned around within 24 hours. This is a very big facilitation which is being given to researchers and mainly to the industry who are moving ahead. Sir, we have also now working with the DCGI to create a separate rapid regulatory pathway for COVID vaccine. As you know, sir, the COVID vaccine, there will be a solidarity trial which is being planned by the WHO, and it is important for India to be positioned in that if we need to have access to that vaccine for our population. So we need an internal, our own Indian regulatory pathway, and we are working with DCGI. It is nearly ready, sir. In the next week or so, we should be able to notify that. Sir, there was also a very major issue about how the biospecimens need to be shared amongst research groups, and because none of the research groups can start their work till they get access. So, sir, the guidelines were prepared by the department in consultation with all the other scientists and other experts under the empowered group, which is chaired by Dr. Vinod Paul, sir, which I also happen to be a member. The Niti Aayog has issued these guidelines on 21st. So now this makes it very possible for every researcher to access samples under those guidelines, where we put the rules, we put the regulations, we put the forms to go and access it. We are hoping that these will now make a difference. Sir, for the vaccine trials, as I said, we are playing a very important facilitation role, in which the CEPI, which is the main partner globally, which is driving the global trials, in CEPI is already there. We have an engagement strategy with them. We are looking at the way our Indian companies, sir, they would be entering the trials somewhere, their phase 1 trial somewhere by the 4th quarter of 2020. But for that, it is important that we have our sites ready, we have our protocols ready, we have the assays ready, we have all the various components for it. So we have already worked, and in the next few slides, you will see our preparedness for that. We have already conveyed our intent to WHO and to the CEPI, sir, to be part of the global trial. And for this, as I mentioned to you, the rapid regulatory pathway is moving. And sir, you are also aware that Indo-US VAP is one of our biggest strengths for over 30 years. The rotavirus vaccine and many other vaccines, dengue vaccine, etc., have got a lot of guidance from them. We have activated that group, and whatever discussions we are doing, we are having under the Indo-US VAP, so that we get expert guidance also from the experts overseas. Sir, there is one more point I wanted to mention, that if you recall, when you had taken a meeting in ICMR to review the status, you had wanted that the science ministries, atomic energy, space, DRDO, all come forward and complement the testing facilities which ICMR is setting up for government laboratories. We immediately took up that challenge, sir, and with this, all the science ministries, DBT, DST, CSIR, DRDO, atomic energy together, with the IITs, ICERs, everyone, sir, we have set up 16 clusters in the country. Over 91 testing laboratories have come up. So this number has actually been updated today morning. It has now become over 63,000, sir. So they are actually doing nearly about 10,000 samples per day. So that, but we are also working, and the next slide shows you, sir, which are the various testing hubs across the country. We are now making an effort to set up in other locations. Under the empowered group, which is with Dr. Vinod Paul, we are working with ICMR, Dr. Balram Bhargav, to identify where the gaps of testing centers are, so that we can work towards it. And within the next week or 10 days, sir, you will have a full map from us on how we are trying to take these testing centers to near every district, sir. So that once your strategy for testing moves on, our laboratories are ready. In this, sir, we are also looking at bringing in the mobile testing laboratories, and that plan is also being worked out. Our DBT institute, sir, we have these 7 institutes of DBT which are part of the main hubs to take it forward, and this work has already started. Next. Sir, as we said, these are the 5 major verticals in which it's not just animal model, there's other resources also, and with these 5 models, main verticals in which our work is going, I will move this on now to our autonomous institutes. And the slides on vaccine development, Dr. Gagandeep Kang will give you the presentation on that. Gagandeep.
Me? Yeah. Thank you. So I'm going to be presenting on the vaccine platforms that have been proposed and are in process by autonomous institutes of DBT. The first one is conjugate vaccines, and here we are looking at the receptor binding domain expressed in E. coli being conjugated to the diphtheria toxin or to pneumococcal protein by NII. There are also multiple approaches to the development of protein vaccines, one which is aimed at a mucosal vaccine being developed by NCCS, and the other which is a peptide vaccine by ICGEB. From THSTI, we are proposing a self-amplifying mRNA, and work on this has already been initiated. And similarly, there is work proposed on a vector-based vaccine at NCCS. There are two approaches to making virus-like particles. The first is a baculovirus expression system from NIBMG, and the second is chimeric VLPs with the receptor binding domain linked to hepatitis B surface antigen from ICGEB. And this builds off the prior experience that ICGEB has had with a dengue vaccine that is now in preclinical studies. The next slide, please. So this is the timeline for working with these candidates. What we've proposed is a very rapid progression. There have been some limitations to getting started, really related to the establishment of animal models, but as you will see from subsequent presentations, that this work is advancing very rapidly now that we have access to the virus and to the relevant animals. So if you look at vaccines, it's not just about having a candidate which are listed under the vaccine platforms. These are candidates that have been proposed by our internal institutes, but in addition to this, there is a lot of support to the vaccine ecosystem that is being offered to vaccine companies that have programs of their own. This includes support for assays, the availability of reagents, and of animal models. One of the most important things is the ability to do clinical testing once a vaccine trial site starts, and there are institutes that are already working on this, and similarly providing other support systems such as the animal models for mice, hamsters, and ferrets. In addition to this, adjuvants are a key part of providing additional immunogenicity to vaccine candidates. NII already has adjuvants that are available that they are offering to industry, and we are discussing with vaccine companies what is the appropriate way of doing a clinical site selection, which requires a fair amount of community-based epidemiology studies. Now, if you look at the support resources in terms of establishing clinical immune assays, there are already a number of assays that have been established at THSTI, at RGCB, and at IRSHA, which is located in Pune. And of course, many of the AIs already have the PCR system that will be important for sites to do themselves once clinical studies start. In addition to this, I've already mentioned the animal models and the availability of adjuvants. I just want to point out here that DBT institutes are working not only with small vaccine companies, they're also working with large vaccine companies located in India. So this is good not only for COVID-19 response, but is also good for building the future for rapid response in pandemics and epidemics. The next slide, please. These are the timelines, and as you can see, these are significantly shorter timelines than were provided for the taking forward of vaccine candidates. And as Dr. Renu Swarup mentioned, all of DBT's institutes are available to provide support to the vaccine development efforts in India, whether they come from our own groups or from outside. Thank you.
So before we move to the diagnostic, maybe you will just like to hear for a minute Dr. Panda and Dr. Dinkar Salunke. We also have Naveen because their research is moving. So maybe Dr. Salunke and Dr. Panda may just like to add at some point. Dr. Panda?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is, because one of the WHO requirement is, can you combine this COVID with any 4 diseases like measles, flu, pneumonia? And fortunately, we have a strong pneumonia vaccine program going on in NII. We have a protein candidate vaccine which is giving us 70% protection. So we are planning to conjugate the pneumonia protein to the COVID RBD protein and hope that both combination will help in helping each other and get a good neutralizing titer while we use our adjuvant. So we have already started. We have got a clone and we are in the process of making the protein. Once the conjugate is ready, probably we will do a animal model in a months to come. That's where we are.
Dr. Salunke?
Sorry, good morning. I think I'm going to particularly refer to the efforts made by Naveen Khanna earlier in making a dengue vaccine, and that model has actually proved to be very successful. So Naveen Khanna has designed a vaccine based on that strategy, and it looks like it would be a game changer if it works along the same line. So actually Naveen Khanna is also available, so he may actually add something to these efforts in terms of what he has to say.
Thank you, Dinkar. I agree with Gagandeep and Panda and you that it's good to have various platforms for moving this forward, but our platform, we are just focusing based on our daily experience that we make neutralizing antibody in the absence of any disease-enhancing antibodies, because there are some background literature available that it's not very clear if all immune responses to COVID are protective in nature, could they be enhancing in nature. So these are knowledge-based, tailored vaccine candidates which would be expressed in picture stories, and we have a good support system from Indo-US WAP and from DBT to carry this forward.
Thank you. Sir, I would also like to mention here, as you said, that this is actually, the crisis is an opportunity for us to look at Make in India. Vaccine development में सर हमारा major जो dependency थी was only on imported resources, looking at the animal models coming from outside, which would be delayed. As you have seen, our effort now is कि हम सब कुछ indigenously बनाएं. सर हमारा consortium on indigenization of biotech resources is also ready. In fact, NBRIC के नाम से that has already been launched in a small way for diagnostics and kits. Within the next week or 10 days, we will have the whole contain. All these resources you see will be in a public-private partnership model, in a service model, which will be made available to the entire industry. So this will be not only self-reliance for India, but sir, I am very confident that we will then be able to supply to the world as well. Thank you, sir. We move on to the presentation to diagnostic development. And diagnostic, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai is coordinating the efforts. And Radha, if you can briefly mention what has been done, including your own institute.
So we have almost all the DBT autonomous institutes involved in development of diagnostics, which is an urgent requirement, and therefore we plan to do it in the shortest time possible. I will very quickly go over these efforts, and these diagnostic efforts are over 3 main detection platforms: nucleic acids, the antigen, and the antibody-based diagnostic systems. So THSTI is well ahead, and it's almost got a real-time PCR kit, and I hope it will get validated very soon. The National Institute of Animal Biotechnology is working on an aptamer, RNA aptamer-based system that uses colorimetry for eventual detection. RGCB has made significant progress with its LAMP-based assay, and ICGEB is doing a multiplex detection platform using the Luminex platform. We are also doing antigen-based assays in the various institutes. THSTI is doing an antigen-based ELISA, whereas INSTEM and NCBS have a combined program looking at high-affinity binders. RGCB, ICGB and ILS in Bhubaneswar are working very quickly on making rapid antigen detection system, whereas the Institute of Animal Biotechnology in Hyderabad is looking for electrochemical method to do the antigen detection. Regarding antibody-based rapid tests, RGCB has submitted its platform to ICMR for approval, and we are hopeful of receiving a feedback this week. THSTI is also working on a similar platform, whereas ICGB is also on the way. The Luminex bioassays are also for antibody detection are also well in place. This picture that you see now is what is being proposed at the National Institute of Animal Biotechnology. It's a very simple electrochemical device that will hopefully be able to be a bedside diagnostic system, and it has to be now validated with actual disease samples. That briefly describes the diagnostic efforts being done in the DBT Autonomous Institute.
So, sir, I would just like to interject here. Sir, after
Mr. Pillai, can you give us a rough idea about the time when, whether it is the antigen RT-PCR kit or the antibody test kit, and these indigenous kits? Right now there is so much of dependency on the foreign kits and all, and you just now saw the controversy when we procured things from China and they were all substandard. So when can we practically expect that the Indian market will have these kits, whether antigen or antibody, available to the testing facilities by the government? Means when can we start procuring them? Can you give us a rough idea, or is it going to be in the theoretical stages only in the next few months?
The RT-PCR kit that was developed at THSTI is waiting for ICMR approval, and I'm hopeful they will get the ICMR approval very soon, and hopefully in the month of May we should be able to have that kit ready. The antibody kit that was developed at our institute is with ICMR. We have a production facility in Kochi which can produce about 150,000 units a day when it receives the final approval. So that also should be ready by the second week of May at the latest. Again, like I said, most of the other diagnostic platforms are all at an advanced stage. So definitely in the next 3 to 4 months, we should have these out ready for mass production.
So, what I could understand is that both of them are awaiting approval from ICMR, and once that is done, then you can start the process of production, or it takes another 3-4 months after that also?
No. For the antibody kit, we have already got the production facility in Cochin ready. We have a partner company which is going to do that. So as soon as we get the approval, we are ready for production.
So no. When suppose you get the approval in the next 7 days, then when is the time? What is that time when you have these kits available for the Indian market and for the Indian labs?
Within 14 days, sir.
Within 14 days. So any time in May we can expect that there will be a production started.
Yes, sir.
And you are saying that we can produce over 1 lakh of kits every day?
Yeah, this is the rapid antibody testing system.
Yes, I'm talking about that only. You see, because right now the crisis is about these rapid antibody tests. And because of the substandard kits that were supplied to India by China, there is a huge dilemma, and also about the actual utility of these antibody tests. Even WHO has till recently not really validated or endorsed their use, except that they are saying you can use them for some research purpose or epidemiological studies and all. There also we were actually using them in our hotspot areas for surveillance and other purposes. But right now there is this crisis with these Chinese kits, and then if you take them from somewhere else, you are really not sure about it. Then there is so much of cloud around the fact that whether the test is really useful, is it worth doing it or not. So at least if we have our Indian kits, and if we start using, so do you think that their usefulness or their potency, whatever you can say, shall be as good as any successful kit in the world? Like these days people are talking about the South Korean kits, and everybody says that they are the best. I really don't know what's the fact. So do you think that our kits which will be manufactured, they will be comparable to the so-called best available in the world?
So the antibody kits will be primarily, used for as a marker of exposure.
Yes.
And we have almost a 95% sensitivity.
Oh, okay, that's good. And what about the other ones, RT-PCR? The Smile Labs has done it, na?
So sir, so that is actually going to come in the BIRAC presentation later. I would like to mention to you that we have for the diagnostic kits, in addition to what you've seen, the THSTI already has the ELISAs ready, which they are already now using for the sero studies which are starting. So that is also going for commercialization with a company. In addition, sir, both together, if you're looking at RT-PCR and antibody, the platform that we have set up at Andhra MedTech Zone in Visakhapatnam, that platform is already now ready. Number of companies, including Molbio, the one which is doing the big tech, TrueNat, which was used for TB, that has started its manufacture. They have already given us, sir, about 10 lakh per month kits are being manufactured by May 15th. So by first week or second week of May, and in fact I have already sent this information to the Empowered Group on test kit procurement and to Dr. Bhargav, so that by end of May, we can actually have full dependency only on our Indian kits. We will not need kits from outside. At this point, sir, I would like to inform you that there were two gaps which our kit manufacturers were finding. One was the reagents, one was the RT-PCR. They were looking at the RNA extraction kits. So looking at the primers, looking at the probes, looking at the RNA extraction kits, we have tied up all those components. And now, just when I was coming for this meeting, I got the call from IMTZ to say from Monday, their manufacturing of RNA extraction kits is also starting internally. So all the testing labs, the 91 testing labs that you saw of the government, sir, which ICMR is not currently providing the kits because they had their own network, they are all being supplied by indigenous manufacturers, and AMTZ has been made the single focal point to provide. So these are all going to be 100% Indian kits which these testing labs are already using. My labs, UBO when it comes through, which RGCP has said, Google is there, then this Molbio is already there. These have already started. Then we also have a couple of others which have started in their own facilities.
So can we safely say that sometimes in the month of May, whether it is second week, third week, fourth week, India will not be dependent on any foreign kit, whether it is for antigen or for antibody?
Sir, antibody or RT-PCR. Antigen kits are still being developed, but RT-PCR and antibody.
RT-PCR and antibody test kit.
In the month of May, we will make
For you see, right now our target is that by the end of May, we want to augment and ramp up the facility to an extent where we are able to do 1 lakh tests per day. Right now we are doing something like 40-45,000 per day. Our capacity is about 55,000. That's what ICMR tells us now. So we want to, God forbid, we have an extreme situation where the cases are rising at a very, very fast pace. Then of course you need more tests, and also we want to, the target that we have kept is about 1 lakh of tests every day. So shall we be in a position to handle this need exclusively from our indigenous sources?
Yes, sir. By the 3rd week of May, we should be in a position, between 3rd and 4th week of May, 1 lakh, sir. By middle of May, we should be in a position to about 40,000 kits should come in. Again, we have to work with ICMR to quickly get the manufacturing tests cleared from them, the kits cleared from them for manufacturing. But by May, sir, we will have complete self-reliance.
From your side, right now the ball is in the court of ICMR?
Not for all of them. For 2 or 3 tests, they are with the ICMR. 2 or 3 of them they are setting up, which have got approvals, they are setting up their manufacturing facilities. As I told you, we are just tying up all those loose ends, and as I said, sir, from 3rd of May, nearly about 15 lakh tests per month is already starting from 3rd of May. 15 lakh tests per month is the capacity which will be rolling out. This is what we are now going to increase to 1 lakh, as you have said, per day. So that means 30 lakh per month is what we are wanting to do. So we will have to just double that. We are very confident we will be.
No, in any case, we are wanting that to happen only after 31st May.
So by that time, sir, we will be.
So you are saying that in the month of May, you will be able to handle 50,000 tests per day.
Yes, sir.
That's the average.
Yes.
So can we start saying now publicly also that we are in a very advanced stage of antibody test kit production and also the RT-PCR kit production in India, and in the month of May we should be in a position to handle most of it from our Indian sources?
Yes.
Can we say that?
We can say that, sir, and I will immediately when I go back from this meeting send you.
Or means if you tell me, we will not say that until it is, because otherwise you face a huge embarrassment later on.
Sir,
You
we
are
will be in a
confident
position-
about.
I will be able to give you the exact numbers as soon as I go back, which date, what is going to be our ready capacity to produce. I will give it to you May week wise, sir. I will give you for 3rd May, I will give you for 15th May, I will give you for 25th May.
So for all of you who are talking to me virtually, so you agree with the statement that in the month of May we should be able to handle this situation from our indigenous sources? Can we start saying that right now? Or we say we are still in formative sort of period and
So that is a combination of the institutes and what BIRAC has supported. So both BIRAC and the institute.
Mr. Pillai,
Yes, sir.
yes, I want a specific answer that what should we start saying in public? Because ultimately, you see, one day you have to gradually build up the atmosphere also. And ultimately, if our scientists are doing something good, it should be known to the people also. Gradually they should start anticipating things. So will it be fair for us to start saying even if not very directly but in a subtle manner that this is going to happen?
I'm very confident that once we get all the regulatory approvals out of the way and we get the sanction, we should. The antibody detection systems will start production in about 14 days. And we hope to produce around 150,000, at least 150,000 units per day.
So do you have any apprehensions about getting these regulatory approvals?
I'm very confident, sir, because all our internal assessment shows that it is over 95% sensitive. The only clause that we have here is that because it is an antibody-based system which detects both IgG and IgM, normally the time lag is about 10 to 12 days post-infection.
Oh, that is okay. That is the you see, that is the science behind that. So when you are doing the testing, you know all that. Even while we were doing all this with the Chinese kits, we knew all that. That is not the issue. The issue is that, you see, tomorrow if we are using our own kits, number one, people should have there should be no one who is saying that they are only 5% successful, 10% successful. So ultimately, we have to move ahead very cautiously about these antibody tests and also the kits that we are going to use in the future. So I can safely conclude, and maybe now I should, instead of you, I should pursue with ICMR to get these clearances as fast as possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can go back after this meeting assured that antibody test kits and the RT-PCR kits should be made available to Indians from Indian sources in the month of May?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead to the next point.
Thank you, sir. We move on to the therapeutics part of the presentation, sir, and here Dr. Sudhanshu Rathi next.
Okay, Namaskar and good morning to all. Vaccines are useful to stay prepared against a known pathogen that we know. However, especially during the outbreak of a novel virus, we also need prophylactic and therapeutic drug options. Antivirals and antibodies present the best options in this direction, and several DBT autonomous institutions are making it against the SARS coronavirus 2. Broadly, there are 5 strategies that I have listed over my first slide, and I will take each one of them and give you a glimpse of the various activities that are being taken up by different institutions. Next slide, please. So, repurposing of drug is the foremost strategy that explores the use of existing drugs against the virus. This is the fastest possible strategy, as we save so much time which is spent on preclinical and clinical development of new drugs. There are various strategies that are being adopted by DBT autonomous institutions in this regards. They are screening the FDA approved drugs against several of the key proteins of virus and hope to find some of these drugs, if they work against these virus in the in vitro test. These would be tested against the virus in cell culture model, and if they are found to be useful, they could then be tested in the animal model. Okay, the next option is to identify the key viral proteins and identify their functional sites and use the structure of these proteins to screen for drug-like molecules that could inhibit the activity of these viral proteins. All of this work is done in silico and is reasonably fast, but then it requires validation of these observations in the cell culture and animal model of the disease. Several of the proteins of the virus, and foremost of them being the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase, the protease, and exonuclease and helicase. These are key proteins that are required for replication of virus. And several of our institutions are focusing their attention on identifying inhibitors to some of these proteins. One example I will give you from our work at the Regional Center for Biotechnology. Our scientist Deepak Nair has done the modeling of RNA-dependent RNA polymerase and has looked at molecules that may bind to the active site of this polymerase and has identified methylcobalamin, which is essentially vitamin B12 that goes and binds, and at least in the computer modeling, it inhibits the activity of this enzyme. Now that virus has become available to us, we would be testing the activity of methylcobalamin or vitamin B12 against the virus in the cell culture model. And this is just an example where a known biomolecule which is already medically used is found to inhibit the enzyme activity in vitro, in silico, and if it is found to inhibit the virus replication in the cell culture model, this could be a ready molecule to be taken to clinical use. Okay, then there are huge libraries of drug-like molecules that are available in various institutions across the country, and there are methods that can be used to test the effectiveness of these molecules against virus replication in cell culture model. Several of our institutions in collaboration or independently are testing the activity of molecules from these libraries against the virus replication. So therapeutic antibodies or development of neutralizing antibodies against virus that is considered as a very good option for therapy, and several of our institutions are trying to develop therapeutic antibodies, therapeutic neutralizing antibodies against the virus. They are either using a library that is available to screen for neutralizing antibody, or they are using the cells or the cells derived from the patients who have recovered from this infection and try to produce monoclonal antibodies against the virus from such patients. Specifically ICGB, NII, NCCS, DHSTI and ILS are working together on some of these options. Next slide please. And finally we have certain herbal strategies that I have listed over here. DBT and Ayush have established a partnership for screening a large number of plants that have been predicted to have medically benefit properties, and these plants will be tested either as their extracts or purified compounds from them for antiviral activities. Several of our institutions are involved in testing these molecules that are derived from plants, or they are directly testing the antiviral activity of these plant extracts. So here I present the timeline of the various research activities. You would see that in silico screening is the fastest and usually takes anywhere between 1 to 2 months. And using the in silico screening, several of the molecules have been identified that are potential inhibitors of virus replication. These molecules will now be tested in next couple of months in cell culture model of virus replication. If they are found to be effective, we can go to the next stage of testing them in the animal model of disease, and we hope the animal model of disease will be available to our laboratories in next 3 to 6 months time. Thank you very much. I think I'll conclude over here.
ये डॉक्टर सुधांशु, जो सवाल मैंने पहले लोगों से पूछा किट के बारे में, अभी तो ये तो अभी रिसर्च है, ड्रग डिस्कवरी जो भी है, या जो आप पुरानी दवाइयाँ उनको नया उनका इस्तेमाल रीपर्पसिंग करके कोशिश कर रहे हैं। आपकी अपनी गट फीलिंग क्या है कि आपको इसमें से क्या सफलता मिलने की उम्मीद है, कितनी उम्मीद है, और अगर है तो प्रैक्टिकली कब तक कुछ रिज़ल्ट हमें मिलने की संभावना है? कुछ आप इसका अंदाज़ा दे सकते हैं हमको?
जी, आई थिंक ये जो रीपर्पसिंग वाला जो ऑप्शन है, इसमें अगर हमारी किस्मत अच्छी हुई तो कुछ मॉलिक्यूल्स ऐसे हैं जो कि ऑलरेडी यूज में हैं। जैसे मैंने कहा विटामिन B12, कंप्यूटर मॉडलिंग में विटामिन B12 वाज फाउंड टू इनहिबिट द एक्टिविटी ऑफ RNA डिपेंडेंट RNA पॉलीमरेज। नाउ दिस इज ऑल इन सिलिको, दिस इज ऑल थियोरेटिकल। अभी पिछले सप्ताह हमको वायरस उपलब्ध हो गया है और अभी हम वायरस कल्चर और टाइट्रेशन के मेथड्स एस्टैब्लिश कर रहे हैं। मेरे अनुमान है कि अगले 15 दिन में ये मेथड्स एस्टैब्लिश हो जाएंगे और उसके बाद अगले 15 दिन में हम इस तरह के मॉलिक्यूल्स को बारे में बताने में सक्षम होंगे कि क्या वो वायरस के खिलाफ कोई एक्टिविटी उनमें है या नहीं। हमें कई कंपनियों ने भी जो है अप्रोच किया है पिछले 15 दिन में, जिनके पास अनेकों मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं जो कि वो समझते हैं कि उनमें एंटीवायरल एक्टिविटी है। हमने उनको भी बताया है कि अगले 15 दिन के बाद जब हमारे पास ऐसे तैयार हो जाएगा तो हम उनके मॉलिक्यूल्स को भी टेस्ट कर पाएंगे। इसके अलावा जो एंटीबॉडी, जो न्यूट्रलाइजिंग एंटीबॉडी वाला जो ऑप्शन है, मुझे लगता है कि अगर हम ये एंटीबॉडी अगले 3 से 6 महीने के अंदर अंदर बना पाए तो ये एंटीबॉडी अगर इनकी एफिनिटी और इनकी एफिकेसी वायरस न्यूट्रलाइजेशन के लिए अच्छी साबित हुई तो ये मुझे लगता है कि 6 महीने के अंदर कोई ऐसी चीज हम प्रोड्यूस कर पाएंगे जो कि इमीडिएट यूज के लिए उपलब्ध हो सकती है।
नहीं, अभी जैसे इस वायरस के बारे में ये कहते हैं कि भाई 80-90% लोग तो एक प्रकार से खुद ही ठीक हो रहे हैं, सेल्फ लिमिटिंग जैसा है, यानी कोई सिग्निफिकेंट वो नुकसान नहीं कर रहा है। और इवन बिना अस्पताल में जाए भी अभी 80% मरीज़ों को तो हमारी योजना के तहत हम किसी अस्पताल में आने वाले भविष्य में लेकर भी नहीं जाने वाले हैं, सिवाय उनको सिम्टोमेटिक कुछ ट्रीटमेंट देंगे, कुछ रेस्ट कराएंगे, कुछ फ्लूइड्स वगैरह देंगे, यही सब लिखा है। तो अभी तो सिर्फ जो 4-5% हैं जो ज़्यादा प्रभावित हो रहे हैं या उनको रेस्पिरेटरी डिस्ट्रेस वगैरह ज़्यादा हो रहा है, ऑक्सीजन वगैरह से काफ़ी सारे ठीक हो रहे हैं, लेकिन कुछ जो वेंटिलेटर पर जाएंगे और जाकर बहुत गंभीर होंगे और उनमें 100 में से 3 लोगों में मॉर्टेलिटी हो रही है, वो भी उसका भी 80-85% उन लोगों में हो रहा है जो मतलब पहले से बीमार लोग हैं, उनके पास कोई और पहले से बीमारी थी, लंग हार्ट की या दूसरी। तो ऐसी परिस्थिति में ये जो जैसे आपने कहा विटामिन B12 की बात किया कि इसका मॉलिक्यूल जो है वो कुछ थोड़ी बहुत ही उसकी एंटीवायरल एक्टिविटी होगी, तो मैं अपना एक ऐसे लेमैन, अभी मैं डॉक्टर की तरह बात नहीं कर रहा, ऐसे लेमैन बात कर रहा हूँ कि 90% तो ऐसे ही ठीक हो रहा है, उसको तो ना विटामिन B12 की ज़रूरत पड़ रही है, ना विटामिन C की ज़रूरत पड़ रही है, ना उसको हाइड्रोक्सी क्लोरोक्वीन की ज़रूरत पड़ रही है। और अभी जो बाकी जो कुछ दिया जा रहा है उसके बारे में भी एक दिन आता है कि शायद ये फ़ायदेमंद है, दूसरे दिन आता है कि ये शायद, एक दिन डोनाल्ड ट्रंप उसके बारे में बड़ी हाइप्ड स्टेटमेंट देते हैं, दूसरे दिन अमेरिका उसको बिल्कुल फुस कर देता है। तो इस तरह की बातें चल रही है। 1-2 दिन 4 पेशेंट कॉन्वलेसेंट प्लाज्मा से ठीक होते हैं, अगले दिन कहते हैं कि साहब ये तो कोई, इवन अभी WHO भी उसको वो नहीं करता है सपोर्ट। तो ये सारी बातों को देखते हुए जो आपने अभी बताया, कुछ एक्सट्रैक्ट वगैरह हैं जो डेंगू वगैरह में यूज़ होते थे आयुर्वेदा के, या जो आपने कहा कि भाई ये अभी विटामिन B12 या कोई कंपनी कह रही है कि शायद हमारे पास भी कोई ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल हैं जिनकी एंटीवायरल एक्टिविटी है। तो ये छोटी मोटी एंटीवायरल एक्टिविटी अगर होगी, उससे क्या हमारे वो क्रिटिकल जो केसेस हैं उनको हेल्प मिलने की कोई आपको व्यक्तिगत तौर पर कोई आशा नज़र आती है? ऐसे तो आशा से ही सारा विषय आगे आशा से ही बढ़ता है, आशा के बगैर तो कुछ भी नहीं होता है। लेकिन प्रैक्टिकली जो है हमारे को क्या लगता है, मतलब ये इतने बाकी भी जो साइंटिस्ट लोग बैठे हैं वो भी कुछ अगर कमेंट करना चाहें तो बोले कि भाई हमें प्रैक्टिकली क्या लगता है कि क्या वास्तव में कोई ड्रग डिस्कवरी ऐसी, हम जादुई ड्रग निकाल सकते हैं कि भाई जैसे दुनिया एकदम इस समय खौफ में है, भयभीत है कि पता नहीं क्या हो गया है, तो ऐसी कोई दवा हम निकाल देंगे कि फटाफट वो दवा, कम से कम कोई बीमारी हो गई, दवा खाएगा 5 दिन में ठीक हो जाएगा। तो क्या ऐसी कोई दवा ढूंढने की संभावना आपको नज़र आ रही है?
देखिए, ये एक चांस की बात है, जैसा कि आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि कोई चीज़ अगर हमें ऐसी क्या मिल पाएगी या नहीं। मेरा अपना मानना है कि अगर हमें कोई ऐसा एंटीवायरल मिलता है जो वायरस रेप्लिकेशन को इनहिबिट करता है एनिमल मॉडल में, इट मे नॉट बी ए थेरापेटिक बट इट कैन एक्ट एज ए प्रोफाइलेक्टिक। सो वो जो 10% या 5% जिनमें कॉम्प्लिकेशन हो रहे हैं, अगर क्लिनिकल डेवलपमेंट के दौरान नहीं पाया जाए कि लोगों को, अगर ये जैसे विटामिन 12 की बात करता हूं मैं हाइपोथेटिकली, कि विटामिन 12 अगर हम लेते रहे तो जो 10% लोग कॉम्प्लिकेशन में जा रहे हैं वो 7% या 6% हो जाते हैं कॉम्प्लिकेशन में जाने वाले। तो ये उनको उस स्टेज पर ले जाने से रोकती है, एक संभावना ये है। दूसरा, जैसा आपने कहा कि जो प्लाज्मा थेरेपी हो रही है, वो प्लाज्मा थेरेपी के अंदर कोई स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन पॉसिबल नहीं है। हम प्लाज्मा एक पेशेंट से लेते हैं, दूसरे पेशेंट से लेते हैं, दोनों की एंटीबॉडी में अलग हो सकती है, उनकी एफिनिटी अलग हो सकती है, लेकिन अगर यही एंटीबॉडी हम अपने प्रोसेस के थ्रू बनाएंगे तो वो सारी एंटीबॉडी एक सी ही होंगी, और अगर वो एफिकेशियस हैं तो वो हमेशा एफिकेशियस होंगी, ना कि ऐसी कि एक पेशेंट ए वाली एंटीबॉडी काम कर गई, पेशेंट बी वाली एंटीबॉडी नहीं काम करती। लेकिन ये बिल्कुल मैं आपसे सहमत हूँ कि ये कोई भी इनमें से इलाज अगले 2 महीने में उपलब्ध होने वाला नहीं है, बट मुझे लगता है कि अगर कोई इन सिलिको मॉलिक्यूल इन विट्रो और इन एनिमल मॉडल कुछ काम करता हुआ नजर आया तो ये हमें अगले 6 महीने में पता चल जाएगा।
ये जैसे आपने विटामिन B12 की बात की है, तो अभी तो इंडिया के पॉपुलेशन में अगर जब विटामिन B12 का रूटीन में भी टेस्ट कराते हैं तो जैसे विटामिन B12 है, विटामिन D वगैरह है, सब लोग इंडोर काम करते हैं, तो 90% लोगों का तो ये सबका शॉर्ट निकलता है, कम ही निकलता है सबका। आप भी अपने जितने साइंटिस्ट बैठे आप भी अपने सब टेस्ट कराएंगे तो बहुतों का विटामिन B12 जो है कम निकलेगा, विटामिन D वगैरह भी ये सब कम निकलेंगे, हो सकता है कैल्शियम वगैरह भी कम निकले। तो क्या ये विटामिन B12 या विटामिन C जो कि कहते हैं भाई रेजिस्टेंस वगैरह को थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव करता है, क्या इसको सोसाइटी को, जैसे आयुष के लोगों ने कुछ कहा कि भाई ये चीज़ें आप इस्तेमाल करिए, आपकी इम्यूनिटी लेवल्स इम्प्रूव होंगे, क्या एट दिस स्टेज वी कैन think of suggesting such molecules to the society right now, not as a curative but as something कि अगर आपके शरीर में विटामिन B12 की कमी होगी, अभी मैं आपकी बात से इनडायरेक्ट इन्फ्रेंस निकाल रहा हूँ कि अगर विटामिन B12 इस वायरस को काउंटर कर सकता है तो किसी के शरीर में अगर अभी भी सोसाइटी में हर एक आदमी को नहीं हो रहा है, किसी को हो रहा है, किसी को नहीं हो रहा है, जो कांटेक्ट में भी आते हैं उसमें से 10 कांटेक्ट में आते हैं, ज़रूरी नहीं 10 के 10 को हो, उसमें से 2 को हम देखते हैं कि बीमारी हो गई, 8 को नहीं हुई, तो देयर इज़ सम फैक्टर विद इन द ह्यूमन बॉडी ऑल्सो। तो क्या इस बात की संभावना आपको लगती है कि विटामिन B12 मान लो जिन लोगों के शरीर में उसकी कमी हो उनके अंदर ये वायरस जो है ज़्यादा एक प्रकार से अपना दुष्प्रभाव दिखा रहा हो? अभी तक जितना काम आपने किया उसके आधार पर क्या आप ऐसा कोई डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट इन्फ्रेंस निकाल सकते हैं?
इनडायरेक्ट इन्फ्लुएंस तो जरूर निकाल सकते हैं, क्योंकि इन सिलिको हमारे पास ये प्रूफ है कि विटामिन B12 मॉलिक्यूल वायरस के जो की प्रोटीन है रेप्लिकेशन के लिए उसको इनहिबिट करता है इन सिलिको। अगले 15 दिन में या 20 दिन में मैं इस स्थिति में होऊंगा आपको बताने के कि क्या वायरस रेप्लिकेशन को सेल कल्चर मॉडल में ये मॉलिक्यूल इनहिबिट कर पाता है या नहीं। अगर उस स्टेज पर ये इनहिबिट करता है तो मेरे ख्याल में इसको बताने में कोई नुकसान नहीं है, क्योंकि ये एक ऐसी दवा है या विटामिन है जो आमतौर पर सभी लोग खाते हैं और इसके कोई दुष्परिणाम तो पता नहीं है, तो इसको लेने में नुकसान तो शायद ही ना हो।
तो क्या ये 15 दिन या 20 दिन के बाद जब आप और अथॉरिटी से कहने की स्थिति में होंगे, क्या उसके बाद ये बात कहना साइंटिफिक होगा कि लोगों को कहा जाए कि आपके शरीर में अपने विटामिन B12 की अगर कमी है तो उसको पूरा करने के लिए विटामिन B12 खाना शुरू करिए आप?
At least there will be suggestion from the studies based on the antiviral effect that we might see, but then real proof will come कि जिन लोगों में हो रहा है उनके अंदर विटामिन B12 कम है वर्सेस जिनमें नहीं हो रहा उनके अंदर विटामिन B12 ज्यादा है या कम से ज्यादा है, वो तो बड़ी लंबी स्टडीज हैं। बट मुझे लगता है कि एंटीवायरल एक्टिविटी अगर इन विट्रो हम दिखा पाए बिसाइड्स द इन सिलिको, तो विटामिन B12 को कहने के लिए कि आप इसका सेवन करें उसमें मुझे लगता है कि कोई नुकसान शायद नहीं है।
चलिए अभी हम इसको आपके कहे बगैर नहीं कहेंगे, लेकिन आप जब ये इसकी अगली 10-20 दिन में स्टडीज़ में और आगे बढ़ते हैं तो आप अपने जो भी संबंधित वैज्ञानिक हैं बायोटेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट में या दूसरे लोग, उसके बीच में ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करिए और ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करके बताइए हम लोगों को कि भाई इसमें कुछ इस दिशा में कुछ करना हमारे लिए वाजिब होगा कि नहीं होगा। ये मैंने अभी आपसे आपकी बात सुनने के बाद ही अपने माइंड में जो मेरे बात आए, थॉट्स आए, वो मैंने जो है इस विषय पे किसी और को कुछ कहना है जितने लोग अभी लाइन पर जुड़े हैं?
See, as we all know, the importance of to understand the genomics of COVID-19. So initially, we have actually 5 different institutes: National Institute of Biomedical Genomics, Institute of Life Science in Bhubaneswar, CDFD Hyderabad, NCCS Pune, and INSTEM NCBS cluster in Karnataka. We have actually come forward for this initiative, and then we have sought help from 10 other satellite institutes spanning, and as you see, there are different states and different geographical locations, so that we have a full coverage of Indian population, and we try to collect samples from symptomatic and asymptomatic patients, and then try to do it in 2 verticals. In one, we are trying to understand the viral genome by using Illumina or Nanopore, and then try to understand the sequence variations. The idea is that if we know the sequence, can we really understand how the virus has evolved, the phylogeny to track the virus in India, and then correlate the variations that we found with the disease severity and the transmission efficiencies, whether these associated variations are connected or directly correlated with the increased pathogenicity in some of the states or in some of the pockets. Now, after doing that, this is the immediate goal, and we plan to finish it within a month or 2, depending on the availability of the reagents. As you know, sir, actually now the main hurdle is to get the reagents in time because of the lockdown, but once that is lifted, I think we will have the access to the samples and the reagents quickly. The second part is slightly longer term, when we try to understand the host genome and identify the host determinants that contributes to the genetic polymorphism, which confers the susceptibility and the protection against this particular virus. Genetic determinant, how it contributes to the disease severity. And finally, we want to have an immune profiling of the COVID-19 infected individuals to understand the impact of the virus mutations and its virulence in a particular individuals, and how it is correlated with their genomic responses. I mean, host genome and then versus the immune responses. Now, we have actually done a pilot study. If I go to the next slide, we have done a pilot study joining hand with an ICMR institute in Kolkata, National Institute of Cholera and Enteric Diseases, NICED. So here, DBT and ICMR, your 2 arms, we have joined together, taken their help, got some access to samples and sequenced it. Now the sequence, it's a pilot study as we said it, and its sequence are actually, the samples are collected from different states of West Bengal, Kolkata, Midnapur, Nadia and Darjeeling. And we found actually all of them are actually combining to A2A clade, which is, as you know, if you really compare to the global initiative, initially it was Wuhan strain, which was O, and then further reports were actually on the strain A3, but looks like from A3 now it is slowly moving into A2A in US and Europe mostly. So, and then our strain, the Calcutta strain, West Bengal strains, looks like all in A2A. And we also mapped some mutations that initial studies suggest something interesting. The mutations are in the receptor binding domain of the spike protein, which is very, very crucial. And this aspartate to glycine mutations have been reported to be associated with the disease severity in the literature. So we have to be careful on this. And we also mapped some mutations in the RDRP, RNA-dependent RNA polymerase we are talking about, and which we have to now, as I said, it's just 5 sequence we could complete with the full depth. Now we are trying to increase the numbers and understand how we can explore this and expand this study to understand the genomics of this virus in the next couple of months. As you know, as we discussed about the success of the detection kit, I think it's important to have these variations in the sequence information in mind, because often if the sequence variation is in a pocket that alters the conformation of the antigen, then it will probably bypass the detection kit. So I think these informations not only will help us the detection kit, it will also help to design the vaccine strategies, like if we can understand that what all things we should be allowed before we actually get into the next stage. And here we actually stand, sir, and that we strongly feel that we can have this cooperation from all these satellite centers and the 5 major centers, primary centers, as I mentioned. We can finish this sequencing within a couple of months, and the analysis and deep analysis, meta-analysis will probably take a couple of more months to have a complete picture and integrated picture from India.
Thank you, Soumitra. Sir, this information which will come, as he said, is very important to guide us for the kit development and for vaccine development. Sir, maybe CDFT से Dr. Devashish हैं, अगर वो कुछ ऐड करना चाहते हैं. Devashish, do you want to add something?
ये डॉक्टर साहब, ये जो जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग के बारे में आपने बताया, तो मैं जितना समझ पाया कि अभी आपकी जो स्टडीज़ हैं इसके माध्यम से आप अलग अलग जगह से जो पेशेंट ठीक हो रहे हैं या जो इन्फेक्ट हो रहे हैं उनका जो वायरस है उसको आइसोलेट करके उसका आप सीक्वेंस कर रहे हैं और फिर आप ये अलग अलग जगह के अध्ययन के आधार पर किसी जगह पे ज़्यादा विरुलेंस था या कहीं पे ज़्यादा इन्फेक्शन हुआ, जैसे अभी महाराष्ट्र में बहुत तेज़ी से हो रहा है, दिल्ली में ज़्यादा तेज़ी से हो रहा है, गुजरात में अहमदाबाद में हो रहा है, तो वो एकदम बहुत ही तेज़ स्पीड से जा रहा है। तो आप एक तो बात ये हो गई कि इसका जो बिहेवियर है वायरस का, इसको अध्ययन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और आप पता लगाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि क्या अलग अलग जगह पे कोई अलग अलग उसके अंदर जीन के अंदर कोई चेंज है या जिसके कारण वो ऐसा बिहेव कर रहा है, या जितना मैं समझ पा रहा हूँ कि भाई ये वायरस जो है चाइना से चला है और ये दुनिया में अभी 215 देशों में चला गया है। हमारे यहाँ पे भारत में मान लीजिए जो वायरस आया है, क्या उसका ओरिजिनल वायरस से कोई म्यूटेशन होके फ़र्क है जिसके कारण जो है कोई उसके बिहेवियर में फ़र्क है, या जो ओवरऑल जो अभी कई जैसे देश हैं उन्होंने अपना जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग करके उसको वायरस का जो जेनेटिक सीक्वेंस है, जो जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग करके उन्होंने उसको पब्लिक डोमेन में रखा है, जैसा मुझे पता लगा है कोई मलेशिया ने रखा है और दूसरे कई देशों ने उसको इसी तरह से जैसे हम कर रहे हैं उन्होंने भी किया है। तो उसको देख के हम लोग जो है ये एसेस करने की कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि भाई क्या जो वायरस ओरिजिनल चला था चाइना से, वुहान में पैदा हुआ, वही वायरस अभी चल रहा है कि उसमें चेंजेस होते जा रहे हैं। तो मैं ये समझना, और फिर आपने तीसरी बात जो कही है कि भाई ये जो किट है बनाने में, ये शायद जो ज़्यादा इफ़ेक्टिव किट की इफ़ेक्टिवनेस या किट की क्वालिटी या किट की स्पेसिफिसिटी टू द यू कैन से फॉर इट्स यूज़, उसको इम्प्रूव करने में ये जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग काम करेगी। तो is it what I am understanding the same as what you are trying to do, or is it different?
Right. Absolutely right, sir. First thing first, that actually from our institute we have published yesterday, it has come out that we have compared the sequences of worldwide the virus strains, and we also compared with the 2 strains that were originally discovered and reported from NIV Pune, and we showed that was actually originated from the Wuhan strain O, and then that was reported as BB1. But slowly we can see there are reports of changing the viruses worldwide. So this becoming more virulent. The virus is becoming more virulent gradually. And second thing, as I said it, that if it is actually the mutation is in the antigenic pocket, so that we are trying to get the antibody, or we have to detect that antibody. So there's a lot of times the conformation of the antibody will depend on the changes. So if we can really quickly identify those pockets, or at least those kits that we are actually thinking or conceptualizing that these are the targets, if you can check whether some of these mutations are in those pockets and to share the information, it will be useful for them.
नहीं, अभी आपने एक बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण स्टेटमेंट दिया, आपने जो बात किया कि जो पहले 3 केसेस आए थे वो यंग बच्चे थे जो वुहान से आए थे, चाइना से। केरल में पहले 3 केसेस हुए थे, और वो जो पहले, आपको मेरी बात सुनाई दे रही है? तो मेरा ये कहना है कि जो पहले 2-3 केसेस आए थे वो केरल में आए थे, वुहान से आए थे, वो यंग बच्चे थे। और आपने कहा कि जो उनका जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग या जो वायरस NIV पुणे के पास था, आप उससे कंपेयर कर रहे हैं अभी को, क्योंकि वो इनिशियल केसेस थे, वो 30 जनवरी के आसपास वो डिटेक्ट हुआ था पॉजिटिव हमारा, और वो 24 जनवरी को वो चाइना से बच्चे चले थे, एक 24 को चला था, एक 25 को चला था। तो अभी आपने अपनी स्टेटमेंट में कहा कि इतनी यात्रा में आपको ये दिखाई दे रहा है कि वायरस जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा और घातक हो गया है, और ज़्यादा वो उसका विरुलेंस बढ़ गया है, या वो और ज़्यादा डेंजरस हो गया है दुनिया को मारने के लिए। तो क्या ये अभी आपने इस बात को आप मतलब अथॉरिटेटिवली अभी कहने की स्थिति में आए हैं?
Now this strain is more similar to that is in Europe, in Italy particularly, right? Yeah. So, but and it's also slowly replacing the strain that was invading by this particular strain in US, United States. Now, whether this is causing more virulence or not, that needs some testing in the biology experiment, which is not done yet. So I can't comment that this is actually the only reasons for more disease severity or virulence, but likely to be yes.
तो अभी आप ये कह रहे हैं कि जो वायरस ओरिजिनली चला था चाइना से, उसमें बहुत सारे म्यूटेशन अब तक हो चुके हैं। लेकिन उन म्यूटेशंस के होने का उसके विरुलेंस ज़्यादा होने या कम होने से कोई अभी संबंध एस्टैब्लिश नहीं है।
Yeah, so we are trying to establish that, sir. Actually, I need more numbers to comment on the virulence and the disease severity correlation.
I can appreciate that. उसको अभी आपने एक और बात बोला कि जो अमेरिका में या अभी हमारा जो वायरस इस समय है, जो आपने देखा वो इटली से मैच करता है उसका सीक्वेंस। तो जितना ज़्यादा इटली के अंदर हैवक क्रिएट हुआ, उतना तो भारत में नहीं हो रहा है। तो हाउ डू यू एक्सप्लेन दैट?
Sir, that's why we want to understand the genetic determinant. The host might play a game changer here. So probably there could be an immune profile differences between the Italy people and our people. There could be how we respond to the viral infection is important, and that we want to study, that what all at the level of RNA, what all level at the SNPs or in exomes. We want to figure it out that whether we are in the advantageous positions or not. Actually, the HLA typing is also different. It could be that can contribute to the disease severity in other country compared to whatever we are facing here.
So इसका मतलब ये
to have some risk.
इसका मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं कि जो इंडियन पॉपुलेशन का जो जीनोम सीक्वेंसिंग करके देखा जाए कि इंडियन पॉपुलेशन के साथ इस वायरस का जो जीनोम है वो कैसे इंटरेक्ट कर रहा है, क्या ज़्यादा खतरनाक तरीके से, और उसी तरह से इटली की पॉपुलेशन के जीनोम से भी इसको कोऑर्डिनेट किया जाए। दिस इज व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से?
एग्जैक्टली सर, या
अभी अगर मैं ये पूछूं कि जो जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग है इसका जनता के दृष्टि से जो लाभ है अभी फ़िलहाल, तो आपकी सारी बात में से इमीडिएट तो अगर कोई इसमें से ऐसा चीज़ निकलेगा जो हमारे को बेहतर किट बनाने में सहायता करेगा, दैट इज़ द इमीडिएट गेन दैट वी कैन अचीव। एक तो रिसर्च का एंगल है कि कहाँ विरुलेंस ज़्यादा है कहाँ, वो तो एक रिसर्च के लिए आपके पेपर पब्लिकेशन के लिए है। पब्लिक के एंगल से जो इसका ह्यूमन साइड है वो बेनिफिट क्या है आपके ख्याल से, जो अगले महीने 2 महीने 3 महीने में हमको मिल सकता है, जो हम कहेंगे कि कल्याणी लैब से ये बात निकली और ये इसके जनता का फायदा हुआ?
So I think we'll just leave it that it is actually changing, and it needs to be checked whether that is contributing, because it can change but it may not impact Indian population. It's possible that it may not impact Indian population. It might impact other populations. So I don't want to say that this is a very virulent strain, we should be very scared about this particular virus without doing biology experiment.
I don't want you to say that. This is all that I am trying to do is an academic understanding of what we can actually do from the. देखिए जैसे जब जितना मेरे को अंडरस्टैंडिंग है जो पब्लिक के फ़ायदे के एंगल से, जैसे अभी जब पोलियो एरेडिकेशन के मूवमेंट में जो उसके आखिरी के साल थे उसमें जब सारा देश से पोलियो समाप्त हो गया था, फिर भी ये होता था कि वी यूज्ड टू लुक फॉर केसेस ऑफ एक्यूट फ्लैसिड पैरालिसिस। उनका हम लोग स्टूल सैंपल करते थे, जैसे ही कोई केस एक्यूट फ्लैसिड पैरालिसिस का कहीं पे आता था उसके बहुत सारे कारणों में एक कारण पोलियो भी होता था, तो उसका तुरंत उसका स्टूल सैंपल होता था और अगर वो पॉजिटिव आता था 10-12 दिन में उस ज़माने में रिपोर्ट आती थी, अभी तो पता नहीं कितने दिन में आती है, तब 10 से 14 दिन में रिपोर्ट आती थी। तो फिर उसके 1 मिलियन 5 मिलियन तक लोगों को, बच्चों को उसके आसपास के इलाके में वैक्सीन भी देते थे। लेकिन जेनेटिक क्योंकि जब सारे देश में ख़त्म हो गया था तो जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग से ये पता लगाने की कोशिश करते थे कि यहाँ पे वायरस अब इस स्टेज में कहाँ से आया। तो इवन ऐसे इंस्टेंस भी ध्यान में आए कि मध्य प्रदेश से वायरस जो है वो चाइना में 0 होने के बाद पहुँच गया या किसी दूसरी जगह से आया, या अभी अगर भगवान ना करे हमारे देश में पोलियो का कोई केस दोबारा आता है, वैसे तो 9 साल से आया नहीं है, तो क्या वो अभी वो वायरस पाकिस्तान से आया, अफ़गानिस्तान से आया, हमारे देश में कहाँ से घुसा, अभी तो कुछ ही देशों में बाकी है। तो वो उसका प्रैक्टिकल यूटिलिटी थी जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग की, जो मैं समझ पाया एज ए नॉन एक्सपर्ट ऑफ दैट जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग फील्ड। तो अभी इसके अंदर इमीडिएट जो जनता के एंगल से हम व्हाट कैन वी फोरसी एज द इमीडिएट गेन्स ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर रिसर्च, ये CSIR में भी हो रहा है, वो भी 500 लोगों के ऊपर कर रहे हैं और वो भी मैच कर रहे हैं जो पब्लिक डोमेन में जो सीक्वेंस रखे गए हैं बाकी दूसरे देशों के द्वारा, उनसे वो मैचिंग करके अपना कंक्लूजन निकाल रहे हैं। आप भी वही कर रहे हैं कल्याणी में। अभी जनता को इस रिसर्च का क्या लाभ होगा, वो उसका कुछ मुझे थोड़ा जो संभावित लाभ हो सकता है उसके लिए वो मुझे बताइए, एंड देन वी विल क्लोज इट। आप मुझे सिर्फ आपका जो फाइनल स्टेटमेंट इस बारे में दीजिए।
Sir, one thing is, like, if we can segregate the sequence information as per the different states, then we will be able to track down that how the sequence is varying in different states. Then at least we can somehow identify some of the states and say that the migration or movement from those states should be a little bit restricted to neighboring states, because we can see that the migration pattern or the tracking of this epidemiology, if we do it, then we will know that how the virulent strain is moving and then taking over the original little naive strains.
Okay.
So that information will be useful to the government to know where actually, as you said correctly, where it is originated. So where it is the pocket where we have more A2A, and where from I think we should make sure that it doesn't spread to the rest of the India. So we don't have the rest of India picture yet.
लेकिन इसका लाभ, जो इस बात का लाभ उठाने का तो असली समय अभी है, और इसके लिए तो आपको अपने नतीजे हमको जल्दी से जल्दी देने पड़ेंगे या कंक्लूजन्स जल्दी देंगे तभी हम उसका लाभ उठा सकते हैं। अगर वो चीज़ 6 महीने बाद हमको मिलती है तो उसका हमें उस समय तो कोई लाभ नहीं होगा।
So we are trying to get as soon as possible from different states samples and sequence.
अभी जो कुछ भी आपने इसको वायरस को देखा माइक्रोस्कोप के नीचे, तो अभी आपको क्या लगता है कि ये अगले कुछ समय में क्या इसका बिहेवियर रहेगा? कैन यू हैजर्ड ए गेस?
सर क्रायो इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोपी इसका अभी सॉल्व नहीं हुआ इंडियन स्ट्रेन का. सो आई थिंक वंस दैट क्रायो इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप व्हिच एक्चुअली कैप्चर्स different conformation comes out, then we will be able to comment on it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
So, sir, maybe the Bangalore cluster, which is a partner, can also look at that activity. In Apurva, you may consider working with Sumitra on that activity. So, with the cryo. Sir, we'll move on to.
Yeah, can do the cryo.
So, sir, हम इसको conclude करेंगे. हाँ सर, इसको बस सर हमारी इंस्टीट्यूट्स का हो गया है. वी विल नाउ मूव टू बायरैक विच इज सपोर्टेड द स्टार्टअप्स एंड इंक्यूबेटर. सर उसमें सिर्फ 2 इंस्टीट्यूट के डायरेक्टर्स डायरेक्टली हमारे कुछ नहीं बता पाए आपसे, बट दे हैव ऑल बीन कवर्ड अंडर द वेरियस एक्टिविटीज. हम बायरैक पे जाते हैं सर. नेक्स्ट प्रेजेंटेशन. बायरैक जैसे आपने कहा सर, इसने काफ़ी सपोर्ट किए हैं जो हमारे रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, और ये 4 सेम ब्रॉड कैटेगरीज में हैं. जो हमारा बायोफार्मा मिशन आपने 2 साल पहले लॉन्च किया था सर, आज हमें उसका सही फ़ायदा दिख रहा है, बिकॉज उसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे हम इसको आगे ले जा रहे हैं. डॉक्टर कविता सिंह हमारी मिशन डायरेक्टर हैं, और वो आपको वेरी क्विकली 2 स्लाइड्स में बताएंगी कि हमने क्या किया है इंडस्ट्रीज के साथ. कविता, वेरी क्विकली, वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. I'm presenting in the team of behalf of my team Bharat here. And as Dr. Salup just mentioned, that we are to support the Bharat enterprise, we had sort of had a 2-pronged strategy. We understood there would be some long gestational projects which were put under the research consortium, and what you see in front of this slide for the strategy was, since no one knows which is the best platform technology for the vaccines, so the different platforms which are in advanced stage have been provided support for further development of the projects. And if you go to the next slide, we have quite a few, may I go to the next slide please? So while there are number of, we do understand there are number of platforms which can be used for developing vaccine candidates. The rate limiting steps which have been identified over the last 2 years mapping has been that vaccine companies or research institutes do not get access to assays and animal models. So this time in parallel, equal emphasis has been placed to ensure that as services, as common facilities, every vaccine company should not develop their own models and assays and invest time and delay the product development. We have ensured companies and institutes are there to provide the support. Similar support side, can I go to the next slide please? A very similar support side which has, which you also mentioned in the beginning, that we identified some bottlenecks or some dependencies which our diagnostic companies had in terms of getting components and reagents from global international sources. So sir, if you see this slide, I would request if you could see this slide bottom up, and you would see there are 3 sort of main areas or panels of even within the diagnostics. So we ensure that the reagents and components which are required for making either the molecular kits or the rapid serological kits, in terms of primers and probes required for RT-PCR or antigens required for large-scale antigen required for making the rapid kits, and the RNA extraction, nucleic extraction, sample transport buffer, material transport medium, all these are such important integral components which go into, so if you go and see in the middle bar of our slide, it shows that all of them feed into making of these kits, and even with to make it as a detection kits, many of them, I'll show the next slides, have been supported, considering we should see success in many. And then, if you look to the topmost row or the bar, so you will see that, okay, from bottom down, we've got the reagents, we've got kits of different, and now a scale of line to feed it over a requirement of a very large requirement which we know will be the need of India. So in this slide, you will see that different platforms for different universities and companies, and even a scale-up facility to the already ICMR approved kits has been provided to ensure that we are self-sufficient in a month or 2 from now. Next slide please. And even within this sure that whether we want to do large-scale serology studies, we should want ELISA assays with us, or rapid kit or CRISPR technologies, all are being supported, and many of them are in advanced stage also. Next slide please. In the therapeutic area, and plasma whole therapy is being used already. The other product which can be, which is considered as a combination product and not direct plasma is human immunoglobulin, and it's topped up by COVID-19 antibodies, and this is used as a product in intravenously. And as a backup, if we don't get access to a lot of plasma or vaccination, then an equine hyperimmunoglobulin production is also the strategy which is being pursued. And in parallel, sir, like we said, we don't only need to give products, we need to ensure that they have access to the platform. So screening platform is also being ensured. Similarly, sir, other local interventions which could be new designing of PPIs which we need with the simpler single suit methods or low-cost ventilators, which are other preventive interventions, have also been supported under the consortium call of BIRAC. Can I go to the next slide, please? And so the other strategy which we said is to sort of capitalize on the years of nurturing which BIRAC has been doing for its startups and who have innovated solutions which are COVID use. So my colleague Manish, who looks after startups, will describe how the startups have suddenly been selected to the users. Manish.
Sir, we quickly our community of bioincubators, which is 50, and the stakeholders of startup ecosystem to identify the deployable solutions which can be put in the market within 0 to 3 months. So across the ecosystem, we populated the various technologies and screened them which were most relevant for COVID solution. 20 such in-market technologies have been identified and they have been circulated into the stakeholders ecosystem for further facilitation, for adoption, for scaling as well as for manufacturing. In addition to those technologies which we were not able to identify, we opened up a open call and asked that the technologies can reach out to us and we can take a fast track decision on funding and scaling and supporting such solutions. So 15 plus startups funding has already been approved under this fast track decision making initiative. This committee can meet every date depending upon the inflow of such solutions.
Thank you Manish. Okay, we'll go on to the. So sir, ये आपने देखा कि ये startup solutions को हमने किया है और they've already been deployed. Sir, with the last presentation we have is from Wipcol. आपको 2 slides हम Wipcol की दिखाना चाह रहे हैं sir. Next, इसमें sir basically गोयल आप बताएंगे?
So first of all, we have started producing a hand sanitizer, and we are focusing on production of zinc tablets also. And the zinc should be added vitamin D and vitamin C just to improve the immunity of the public at large. And lastly, we are collaborating with Innovation Research Lab for development of aesthetic utilizing MAB that Mr. Baiki Gupta maybe I think will be in a better position to give the details.
सर इसमें हमने पहली चीज़ तो जो हमने वहाँ पे हमने ये इंतजाम किया है कि वहाँ के लोकल आदमी वहाँ पे इसकी खेती करेंगे, हम इसको बाई बैक करेंगे। दूसरा, वहाँ के आसपास के लोगों को हमने मोटिवेट कर दिया है जो वहाँ पे इसकी खेती करेंगे और उससे हम बाई बैक करेंगे, तो हमको सैनिटाइज़र भी मिलेगा और साथ में लोकल लोगों की इनकम भी मिलेगी। और इसमें से हर बॉटल में से हमने ये प्रावधान रखा है कि 1 रुपया हम प्राइम मिनिस्टर केयर फंड में देंगे, ये हमने डिक्लेयर कर दिया। हमारा ये जो प्रोडक्ट है ये बाजार के प्रोडक्ट से काफ़ी सस्ता पड़ेगा और हम हेल्थ केयर वर्कर को 50% MRP पे देंगे। और इसमें हमने जो वैल्यू एडिशन चीज़ डाली है आइसोप्रोपाइल अल्कोहल के साथ में एलोवेरा जेल, मॉइस्चराइज़र, और तीसरी चीज़ हमने नीम ऑयल डाला है जो एंटीसेप्टिक नोन है। और चौथा, जो कोविड में भी लोगों ने कहा है लेकिन हम उसको क्लेम नहीं कर रहे, कैम्फर, तो उसकी खुशबू आप देखेंगे इतनी बढ़िया आती है। और इसमें हम एक वेरिएंट बनाएंगे जिसमें कि लेमन ग्रास ऑयल डालेंगे, तो ये बड़ी नेचुरल सब चीज़ें हैं। और इसको आप देखेंगे तो ये मुझे लगता है कि बहुत अच्छा। हमने इसकी 50 ml की पैकेट बनाया है जो कि पर्स में रखने के लिए या एयरपोर्ट पे जाने के लिए जो लोग कैरी करेंगे। दूसरा 500 ml का जो हॉस्पिटल्स में है। दूसरा हमने एक प्रोडक्ट, ये तो प्रोडक्ट हमारा लैब स्केल में बन चुका है और कमर्शियल प्रोडक्शन हमारा, हम उसको शुरू कर देंगे। दूसरा हमने जो अभी आप कह रहे थे, विटामिन डी, जिंक और विटामिन सी, इन तीनों के बहुत सारे पेपर आ चुके हैं। कोविड में ये हेल्पफुल है, एंटी वायरल प्रॉपर्टी भी है और ये सपोर्टिव है। हम इसको FSSAI मोड में ले जा रहे हैं, जिससे कि हमें क्लिनिकल ट्रायल करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। तो हम तीन चीज़ को, जिंक जो कि लोगों में डेफिशिएंसी है और हम उसी डोज में देंगे जो कि डेली सप्लीमेंटेशन की ज़रूरत है। साथ में विटामिन डी जो 80 to 90% हिंदुस्तान की पॉपुलेशन में डेफिशिएंसी है और कोविड में भी और वायरस में, वायरल इन्फेक्शन इन जनरल हैज़ बीन फाउंड टू बी इफेक्टिव। विटामिन सी मेगा डोज में इफेक्टिव है। हम इसमें मेगा डोज में नहीं दे रहे हैं क्योंकि हमको पैलेटेबिलिटी की प्रॉब्लम आएगी, इसलिए हम 500 मिलीग्राम जो कि नॉर्मल डोज के अंदर ही आता है लेकिन हायर साइड में आता है। तो हम ये तीन चीज़ को हम मिला के टैबलेट होगी, जो कि हमारी टैबलेट की साइज होगी करीब 600 मिलीग्राम, पैरासीटामोल के बराबर। तो आराम से पैलेटेबिलिटी भी हो जाएगी। कॉस्ट हमने इसकी करी है तो हमारी 3 रुपये से 3.5 रुपये के बीच में आएगी पर डे एक टैबलेट। हम इसका थेरेपेटिक क्लेम नहीं कर रहे, हम इसका प्रोफाइलेक्टिक क्लेम नहीं कर रहे, हम सिर्फ कहेंगे दिस विल बी गुड in preventing any influenza or any viral infection. So this will be good for elderly, this will be good for any population. तो ये हमारा मार्केटिंग के लिए भी हमारे पास एक दो लोग हैं जो कि पैन इंडिया मार्केटिंग करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
जो ये हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स ऑलरेडी सब बायरैक के जो हैं ये ऑलरेडी मार्केट में आ चुके हैं। They are already being deployed in the hospitals and all to facilitate the healthcare which is related to some of the, they're not directly COVID specific. सर ये कोविड स्पेसिफिक डायरेक्टली नहीं सर। अल्फा कैप्सूल्स का आप देखिए फेस शील्ड्स बना दिए उन्होंने, सो दे आर रियली लाइक मास्क की तरह यूज हो रहा है। फीटल हार्ट रेट मॉनिटर जो है सर, दे आर नहीं सर, ये दे आर यूजिंग इट इन सम ऑफ दीज हॉस्पिटल्स एक्सेट्रा वे दे आर डूइंग। सैनिटाइजर जो है सर आपका माइक्रोवो, ये इधर एयरपोर्ट्स में डिप्लॉय हो चुका है, 4 या 5 स्टेट्स में इनका डिप्लॉयमेंट हो चुका है। सर ये जो है आपका फीटल हार्ट रेट मॉनिटर, बिकॉज इसमें जितनी भी प्रेग्नेंट मदर्स का मॉनिटरिंग करनी है टेलीमेडिसिन से, तो रिलेटेड हेल्थ केयर के लिए इसको हम यूज़ कर चुके हैं। सो सर ये हमारी ब्रीफली थी जो प्रेजेंटेशन हमने आपके सामने रखा है।
आपका सबका बहुत शुक्रिया है, आपसे सबसे बातचीत हो गई है। कोई और भी कोई सिग्निफिकेंट डेवलपमेंट होती है तो हम लोगों को बीच बीच में टेलीफोन पे भी बताते रहिए, क्योंकि इधर उधर से हम लोग उसको बात को सुने, आधी अधूरी बातों को, क्योंकि बहुत जगह पे आधी अधूरी बात जो है बाहर जाती है और वो मार्केट में होके हम लोगों के पास आती है। उसकी बजाय अगर आप लोगों के माध्यम से डायरेक्टली आएगी तो एग्जैक्ट जानकारी हम लोग जो है देश में लोगों के साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं। तो वील कीप इन टच एंड ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर ऑल योर एंडेवर्स एंड थैंक यू सो मच। अब इसमें क्योंकि कोविड की तकलीफ़ अभी है, तो जितनी जल्दी हम तकलीफ़ का समाधान निकाल के देश को देंगे उतना ही हम सब के लिए यूज़फुल होगा। और जो भी आप काम कर रहे हैं उसमें जो पीपल सेंट्रिक जो बात है उसको हम फर्स्ट थिंग्स फर्स्ट करके हम करेंगे तो ज़्यादा मुझे लगता है कि सारा हमारा रिसर्च है उसका उपयोगिता होगी। तो सभी ने संक्षेप में सारी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट बातें बताई। आई कैन सी समबॉडी इज़ रेजिंग हैंड, देखिए वो डॉक्टर नवीन खन्ना शायद कुछ कहना चाहते हैं।
जैसे आपने पीपल सेंट्रिक बातें करी, उसी को ख्याल में रखते हुए ये जो हमारी सन फार्मा के साथ ड्रग है फाइटो फार्मास्यूटिकल, आज उसकी 2 बजे मीटिंग है CDSCO के साथ फॉर इट्स अप्रूवल फॉर क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स। और अगर ये अप्रूवल मिल जाता है तो 4 लाख गोलियां बनी हुई हैं और ये क्लिनिकल ट्रायल की साइट्स तैयार है। 2 से 3 महीने के अंदर हम लोग जो है क्लिनिकल ट्रायल का रिजल्ट बता सकते हैं। और ये बहुत ही साइंस बेस्ड ड्रग है इन द सेंस कि हमें पता है कि ये वायरस को एंडोसोम्स के अंदर ट्रैप कर देती है। तो जो वायरस अंदर घुसता है उसके बाद एंडोसोम्स में जो सैक में फिर वो जो खुलता है और अंदर एम्प्लीफाई होता है उसको ये ब्लॉक करती है। ये भी हमें पता है कि
सर ड्रग, दिस इज द फाइटोफार्मा ड्रग सर व्हिच दे हैव डेवलप्ड, बोटानिकल ड्रग था जो डेंगू के लिए
फाइटोफार्मा
फाइटोफार्मास्यूटिकल, यस।
अच्छा।
सो ये आज तक 2 बजे मीटिंग है, अगर उस मीटिंग में हमको अप्रूवल मिल जाता है तो ये क्लिनिकल ट्रायल कैन बिगिन विद इन अ वीक ऑन दिस। और दूसरी बात मैं ये कहना चाह रहा था कि एक फिंगर प्रिक से, जैसे हमारा एक डेंगू का टेस्ट है कि आपने फिंगर प्रिक किया, 10 माइक्रोलीटर वो ब्लड लिया और आपने स्ट्रिप पे लगाया एट ए पॉइंट ऑफ केयर विद होल ब्लड, you can do this test for COVID antibodies. So ये टेस्ट भी हमारा लैब स्केल पे तैयार है और हम विदिन, जैसे सब ने कहा कि 2 हफ्ते के अंदर हम इसको ICMR ले जाएंगे फॉर इट्स अप्रूवल। हमारा जो पार्टनर है वो ऑलरेडी तैयार है इन चीजों के साथ, कुछ टेस्टिंग DHSTI में हो रही है। तो ये 2 महत्वपूर्ण चीजें थी जो मैं आपको बताना चाह रहा था।
थैंक यू नवीन, थैंक यू सो मच।
ठीक है, आपको सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामना। आई थिंक आई हैव टेकन ए लॉट ऑफ योर टाइम। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू
थैंक यू वेरी मच। ये सब मिनिस्ट्रीज में इसको रिलीज करा देंगे। खुला हुआ है ना, 2 लेग खुला हुआ है, एक खुला हुआ है।
सब लोग ले लीजिए।
ये फर्स्ट वाला मॉडल
कितने पैसे का?
ये कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगी, लॉकडाउन की वजह से बॉटल की कीमत बहुत ज़्यादा आ रही है। हमारा ये है 17 में हम लोग के पास होलसेलर तैयार।
सर अभी तो एयरपोर्ट में वो सबको अपने पर्स में रखना है, तो उसके लिए 50 ml की बनी। ये तो आप यहीं उनके मंत्री के ऑफिस में दीजिएगा सबके पास एक, ताकि अभिनव के टेबल पे भी एक रहे हमारे विपकॉल का।
देखिए, आज हमने अपने बायोटेक्नोलॉजी की जितनी भी देश की लेबॉर्ट्रीज़ हैं उनके डायरेक्टर्स और हमारे बायोटेक्नोलॉजी के यहाँ डिपार्टमेंट के अंदर सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर रेणु स्वरूप और सभी वैज्ञानिकों के साथ वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के द्वारा सारी जो देश में अभी कोविड-19 के कंटेक्स्ट में जो रिसर्च हो रही है और तैयारियां चल रही हैं उसको रिव्यू किया है। मुझे कुछ बातें उसमें जो संक्षेप में कहनी है, जो 2 घंटे हमने सारा डिस्कशन किया कि मई के महीने में हम देश को अपने भारत में ही वैज्ञानिकों की सहायता से रिसर्च करके और RT-PCR की किट और इसी प्रकार से एंटीबॉडी टेस्ट की किट, ये दोनों चीज़ें जो है हम भारत के अंदर ही इसका प्रोडक्शन जो है करके और भारत की रिक्वायरमेंट्स को पूरा करने में काफ़ी हद तक मई के महीने में सक्षम होंगे। सब चीज़ें एडवांस्ड स्टेज में हैं। बहुत जल्दी ICMR की क्लियरेंस होते ही विद इन ए वीक वो सब चीज़ें प्रोडक्शन स्टेज में चली जाएंगी। जैसा कि हमारा टारगेट है कि 31 मई तक हम 1 लाख टेस्ट देश में करना चाहते हैं हर रोज़। उस टारगेट को अचीव करने में भी ये डेवलपमेंट हमें बहुत मदद करेगी। और अभी जो एंटीबॉडी टेस्ट किट के बारे में विदेशों से जो किट आती हैं उसके बारे में बहुत सारी उसकी क्वालिटी से जुड़े हुए इश्यूज़ हैं, वो सब भी हमारे को उनका समाधान मिलेगा, क्योंकि अभी हमारे वैज्ञानिकों का ये कहना है कि इसमें संभवतः 95% की जो एफिकेसी जो है इन किट्स की रहने वाली है। इसके साथ साथ नई वैक्सीन की खोज की दिशा में हमारे जो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट की मदद से और बायरेक की मदद से हम लोग जो देश में आधा दर्जन से ज़्यादा वैक्सीन कैंडिडेट्स को मदद कर रहे हैं और उसमें 4 तो वैक्सीन कैंडिडेट्स ऐसे हैं जो कि थोड़ा सा एडवांस्ड स्टेज में आगे बढ़ गए हैं और इनके लिए एक रेगुलेटरी प्लेटफॉर्म भी इस प्रकार का बना दिया है डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से, जहाँ की सभी, चाहे वो ड्रग कंट्रोलर हो या और दूसरे रेगुलेटरी प्लेटफॉर्म्स हो, एक ही स्थान पे सारी रेगुलेटरी जो मैकेनिज़म्स हैं उनको हम हैंडल कर रहे हैं ताकि इसमें काम में देरी ना हो। इसके साथ साथ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में नई दवा के डिस्कवरी के बारे में भी काम हो रहा है, नए नए मॉलिक्यूल्स भी, और इसके साथ साथ जो पहले से जो मॉलिक्यूल्स दूसरी बीमारियों के लिए इस्तेमाल होते थे, क्या उनको रीपर्पस करके हम कोविड-19 के अंदर इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, इसके ऊपर भी काम हो रहा है। लेकिन इसमें थोड़ा कुछ महीने का जो ऐसे नतीजे निकालने में जो कि सीधे सीधे जनता को हम लाभ दे सके समय लगेगा। फिर इसके साथ साथ हमारी जो कल्याणी के अंदर लैब है, वहाँ पर इसकी वायरस की जेनेटिक सीक्वेंसिंग पे और जगह जगह से देश के अंदर जो है वायरस के जो सैंपल्स हैं अलग अलग स्टेट्स से लिए जा रहे हैं। 1000 के करीब जो है जीनोम सीक्वेंस करने की तैयारी हो गई है, उस पे काम शुरू हो चुका है, स्टडी भी शुरू हो चुकी है। तो वायरस किस दिशा में कैसे आगे बढ़ रहा है, क्या उसका बिहेवियर है, क्या उसमें चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, और वो चेंजेस को हम कैसे कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं जनता के लिए, उसके अध्ययन को लाभ लेने की दृष्टि से, जनता के ट्रीटमेंट की दृष्टि से, या जनता में उसका जो इफ़ेक्ट है उसके ऊपर पैनी नज़र रखने की दृष्टि से, अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी को बनाने की दृष्टि से उसके अंदर उसकी उपयोगिता होगी। हमारे बिपकॉल ने इसी प्रकार से जो है एक बहुत अच्छा ये सैनिटाइज़र बनाया है। ये बिपकॉल की हमारी लेबॉर्ट्री है जो वास्तव में पहले पोलियो वैक्सीन बनाया करती थी, लेकिन अभी क्योंकि पोलियो एरेडिकेट हो गया उसकी आवश्यकता नहीं, अभी उन्होंने इस सिचुएशन में ये इस प्रकार के सैनिटाइज़र्स बनाए हैं, और भी इसके कई वेरिएशंस हैं। इसके साथ साथ वो जिंक, विटामिन D3 और विटामिन C, इसको तीनों का मिश्रण बनाकर एक न्यूट्रास्यूटिकल भी बनाने का काम कर रहे हैं। यानी पूरा का पूरा हमारा डिपार्टमेंट। फिर इसके साथ साथ जो हमारा बायोफार्मा मिशन के माध्यम से, हमारे बायरेक के माध्यम से कई सारे ऐसे जो मेडिकल डिवाइसेस और मेडिकल जिसे कहते हैं असिस्टेड सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स के लिए बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स डेवलप हो रहे हैं जो इस समय कोविड-19 के समय पे अस्पतालों के अंदर बहुत सारी उपयोगिता कर रहे हैं। तो कुल मिला के हमारे वैज्ञानिकों ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है, और आने वाला समय जो है वो हमें निश्चित रूप से बहुत ही कोविड-19 के सॉल्यूशंस में उपयोगी योगदान हमारे बायोटेक्नोलॉजिस्ट के माध्यम से होने वाला है। इसमें उन्होंने बताया मुझे कि इस बॉटल का जो सेल होगा उसमें से हर एक बॉटल की सेल पर जो ₹1 है वो कंट्रीब्यूशन जो है PM केयर्स फंड में भी जाएगा। ये एक उनका मॉडेस्ट तरीका है बिपकॉल का PM केयर्स फंड को मदद करने के लिए।